Time for this week's pickup video. Well, this week I went to Champaign, Illinois on business. In the evenings after work, I went running around looking at thrift stores, pawn shops. I did find a couple interesting stores. The first store I found up in Champaign, Illinois is a place called Live Action Games. It's in the downtown area of Urbana, or Champaign, Urbana. It's a really nice store, really friendly staff, a lot of stuff to choose from. Another store I visited while I was in the area, this one's over in Danville, Illinois, and it's called Vintage Villains. Now, if you're close to the Danville, Illinois area, I highly recommend you visit this store. This store is awesome. They have lots of classic retro games in there, a lot of the modern games as well. They have like a little miniature video game museum in there. They have some prototype cartridges you can see. They have a lot of action figures and games and things of that nature. But yeah, if you're in the Danville, Illinois area, you need to visit this store. It's really awesome. I was pretty impressed with it, and the prices are rather good. All right, let's get to the pickups. One of the things I picked up this week is Skull and Crossbones for my Nintendo NES. Platforming game, pirate-based platforming game from Tengen. It's a pretty fun game. It's not too bad. Hard as heck, but I'm not good at playing games anyway, so it's hard for me. Probably easy for you guys. Neat game. I like it. Part of my Tengen collection I'm getting. Next one I picked up is called Loaded for the PlayStation 1. Overhead view, run and gun type game, like Gauntlet or games of that nature. It's really cool. I really like it. It kind of reminds me of the game Expendable on my Sega Dreamcast, which I love that game on my Sega Dreamcast. So it kind of reminds me of that. Awesome game. That's made by Interplay. And then I picked up Sharp Shot for my Intellivision. What's neat about this game is basically it's a accuracy type game. It's got 4 mini games in there. You have a football game where you don't control the quarterback. He just runs to some area on the screen, and you got to time the shot to throw the ball to one of your receivers on the other side of the screen. And then another little mini game in there is like Space Shot from the game itself. Space Armada? No, that's the Space Invaders one. Anyway, there's a game that has these same kind of ships in it. You gotta shoot these little spaceships flying around the screen. And then the third game, which I can't remember what it is. It's in the video right here. There's a third game in there as well. The old brain's going bye-bye. And then there's the last game. It's based on the Dungeons and Dragons, where you have these arrows at the bottom of the screen, and you shoot up these corridors to hit the creatures running around inside the maze. And as you can see, it's a lot of two-player games in there. Basically, you're competing against another player to see who gets the highest score in a certain amount of time. All these little games have about 60 seconds that you play. Oh, the other game is like a Seawolf game, where you got a submarine right around on the bottom of the screen and you're shooting torpedoes up. So yeah, that was the other game I couldn't remember. Anyway, this is a pretty neat little cartridge for the Intellivision. Then I picked up Spider Droid for my Atari 2600. Plays pretty much exactly like Amadar. You got a spider running around on this grid, and you're trying to fill in these boxes and avoid these little critters running around on the grid that are trying to catch you. It's okay. It's hard. Of course, like I said, I don't play games very well, so what's hard to me could be easy for you guys. And then I found Threshold for my Atari 2600. Game plays a lot like, kind of reminds me of Mega Mania on the Atari 2600 by Activision. But it also plays a lot like Astro Blaster, the arcade game. You have a ship on the bottom of the screen, and you're shooting these invading ships, and you have a certain amount of fuel. You'll see a fuel gauge at the bottom. It slowly depletes as you're playing to complete the wave. You can do multiple shots, but the faster you shoot, the shorter the shot range goes. It doesn't go as far. It's kind of a neat little shoot 'em up type game. And I found myself Auto Race by Mattel Electronics, a little handheld. I got to do some work on this one. The battery connector in here, one of the wires is broken on it. So I got to put a new battery connector on it. But otherwise it plays perfectly fine. No problem. Then for my Sega Master System, I picked up Outrun. Pretty neat arcade conversion for the Sega Master System. It controls really well. It's a lot of fun to play. It has the music. You can select what music you want to listen to, just like the arcade game. I like it when you wreck, the car kind of flips over. It's kind of cool. I like that. And then I picked up Great Football. Fairly decent football game for the Sega Master System. I'm not really big into sports games, but this was only $1, so I went and picked up anyway for my collection. And I picked up Great Golf for the Master System. This is a pretty neat little golf simulation for the Master System. There's a lot of stuff you can control in here. You can actually control where your feet are in relation to the ball, how far away you're standing from the ball. You can select what clubs you're going to carry with you in your bag. It's pretty good. It's not a bad golf simulation at all for the Master System. Again, it was only $1. I picked it up because I normally wouldn't go after these type of games. And then another one I picked up from a Master System, Choplifter. Now I've picked this up before. I've already got this in my collection. I didn't realize I did. So now I got 2 of them. So I might use this as a prize or something for my podcast or something. I'll figure something out with it. It was only $1. But basically, you're flying a helicopter and you're trying to rescue your fellow soldiers that are trapped behind enemy lines. You have tanks and anti-aircraft missiles that shoot at you. You have enemy jets that try to shoot you down. And basically, you land your helicopter after you destroy a building, blow a hole in it. Land your helicopter, and your soldiers will start loading into the helicopter. Your idea is you got to haul them back to the base safely, and then go back and get some more. None of my soldiers made it to the base when I played the game. But, hey, it's still a fun game to play. And then for my Sega Dreamcast, one of my favorite systems, I picked up Confidential Mission. Spy type game. Kind of reminds me a lot of Virtua Cop, the way the graphics are on the screen. You have the crosshairs that appear, and you see little timer things get closer and closer, which means they're going to shoot back at you. It's an awesome game, and I think, no, it don't say it's compatible with a light gun or anything. It just says standard controller on it. VGA box. Huh. I'm really surprised. I would figure this would be a really good light gun game for the Dreamcast, but it just says standard controller only. Still a great game. I really like it. So I'm pretty stoked to have that added to my Dreamcast collection. And the last thing I picked up this week was In the Hunt for the Sega Saturn. Now, I've already got this on my PlayStation, but I couldn't pass this up because it was such a great deal. So it was kind of neat to find this game out in the wild, and it was cheap too. So pretty awesome. Anyway, that's all the pickups for this week. Next week, I'm going to head up to Washington, D.C. for business. See if I find anything up there. I might go to East Starland. Don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching.